Alrighty, well, guess I am doing the intro today. It says here, make a really funny joke about Venom 2, let there be carnage. Make the joke that you were reading off the script as you were reading this word for word. Even say the part you just read. Just keep reading it, and hopefully you said a really funny joke.
Motion detected at the basement back window.
Oh, has there been? Oh my god, that's so funny. That can be my joke, right? Right, Jempty. I have no humor. That just kind of happened, so that's just kind of fortunate, right? Jempty. I can't do this intro stuff. I'm horrible at it. You cannot make me do it. Please, never make me do this ever again.
Alright, you know what this film is. I know what this film is. We all know what this film is. This is Venom 2. For those who are uncultured and living under a rock, Venom 2 is a cinematic masterpiece starring Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, who, after the events of Venom 1, is finally getting his life together. However, a psychopath named Cletus Cassidy, who, after taking a nibble out of Eddie, gets the Carnage symbiote. So, Carnage decides, hey, I'm gonna break out of prison and go save my girlfriend Scream. Yeah, that's her name. Can you guess what her power is? Ooh, I'll never tell. Anyway, so, after a bit, Eddie and Venom just kind of break up, but then they're back together like 30 minutes later, and they decide to go put some dirt in Carnage's eyes. Carnage and Venom start kicking dirt in each other's eyes, but Carnage gets religion and gains the upper hand. But then, Cletus' girlfriend, Scream, you remember her? The one that has a very mysterious superpower. I wonder what it is. And Eddie's ex-girlfriend are both in danger. So in order to save them, they do the most heroic thing they can think of. They knock Scream off the top of the church while a bell falls on her, killing her instantly. What a hero. Which gives Venom the ability to save his ex, eat Carnage, and bite Cletus' head off. It appears getting religion was enough to save Cletus. So Venom and Eddie go to a beach where they confess their undying love for each other. As they sit in a hotel, they're sent to the MCU. Like, they confess their love for each other, and then after the credits, they sit in a hotel room, and they're like,
Eddie, you know, there's many parallel universes.
and he's like, yeah, what do you mean? And then Doctor Strange is like, ah! And then they're sent into the MCU. To do something totally important. Like, they are integral to Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, they are, like, the main character. Totally. They matter a lot in that film. Yeah. They don't. Venom 2 is, honestly, all jokes aside, a really solid film. It really blows the first one out of the water, and it truly feels like a movie from the early 2000s. This film is so colorful and full of creativity, and this movie just works on all levels. All ideas from the first film are continued and just built upon in this film, and are made better. So, example, we further develop Venom and Eddie's relationship by having them go through a rough patch. Makes sense. Obviously, if you shared the same body, same thoughts, same everything, you probably get annoyed with each other. So, they have to learn that they are better together than apart. Venom gives Eddie's life meaning, and Eddie gives Venom's life meaning. They two peas in a pod, as I always say. This really parallels Cletus and Carnage's not so symbiotic relationship, whereas Venom and Eddie are both perfect symbiosis. Like, Cletus and Carnage are just not. They're only together to reach a goal instead of bonding and actually liking each other. Goal being Carnage in the least funny pun way I can put it. Carnage. There's also this is also shown in the music. In the first film, the music wasn't really anything to write home about. I mean, besides Venom, written by Eminem, but in this film, the music actually matters and matches the two symbiotes. And Eddie and Venom songs, you find them to either calm or have like a rock edge to them. While Carnage and Cletus's are more sinister, slowly consuming the song. Like, a lot of songs start out with the calmness that most Eddie's songs do, but slowly get changed and distorted to match Carnage's more monstrous soundtrack. This is the most apparent in the final song, which is actually split into two separate songs, entitled Unholy Matrimony Part 1 and Part 2. Part 1 has this rock and more heroic Venom score at the beginning, near the beginning, and like sections of it. It's fighting against Carnage's more panic-inducing music, and it fights throughout the song to be in the spotlight. Eddie's rock shines in some parts, but then is slowly overtaken by Carnage's unhopeful score, and keeps going back and forth until Holy Matrimony Part 2, where the first 3/4 of the song has Venom's score being the most apparent. It's upbeat, it's heroic, it's calm, not calm, but like it's heroic. But in that last fourth of the song, you hear that Carnage has gained the upper hand, and the score comes in fast. Instead of its usual slow entrance, it just shows that Carnage is winning. It is doling out all of Venom's like rock and like heroic like score, and it's amazing. This is an example of the music servicing the story. Just by listening to it, you can get an idea of what's happening, and it's so cool. The CGI is far more impressive in this film. Just has overall more color, it looks better. Probably because they had a higher budget in this one, I think. I'm not sure on that, and I don't feel like checking. While in the first one, everything was just so dark and gloomy. In this one, you have more reds and oranges that just make everything pop out. More neons, and the villain actually being a different color from the protagonist. This helps us not only just not be the first film again, but it also like has us like it lets us have a fight scene at the end that isn't just two black and silver symbiotes fighting over each other. This time we have a church with whites, oranges, reds, red symbiote, black symbiote fighting. It just makes the fight pop way more than the first movie's final fight, which was just Elon Musk and Eddie Brock just fighting on a dark background with two dark suits at nighttime. It just didn't work. Carnage is actually a surprisingly good film in this. A good film in this villain. A good villain in this film. He has control over like the whole film. He sneaks into the music. He has a physical advantage over everyone in the film, including the main protagonist. He has control over the two co-villains, Cletus and Scream. That's right, I say co-villains, because Carnage is the main villain in this film, only using Cletus as a host, and Scream as, I guess, a bystander, really. Yeah, Scream doesn't really do much in this film. But his physical and mental strength over the whole cast and film really makes him the perfect foil to Venom, because Eddie and Venom in this film are struggling emotionally and never really have a physical threat. Besides, well, Elon Musk in the first film. But it's just so interesting to have the main conflict for our protagonist be more of an emotional threat, and then have Carnage, probably the strongest thing they've ever come up against, challenging that emotional struggle. And honestly, Carnage is like the only reason, well, not the only reason, but like one of the main reasons that Eddie and Venom come back together, because Venom needs Eddie to survive. Eddie needs Venom to survive. It's just I really like that a lot. I don't got no really. I'm sorry, but before we wrap this up, let me get number one Venom 2 fan, Space Duck 147. So just take it away, I guess.
Venom: Let There Be Carnage is a cinematic masterpiece. It is objectively perfect in every way, and it is baffling that it only has a 59% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. Venom is an extremely deep character, with masterfully written lines such as "F*** this guy." I cannot believe the peak of cinema was not nominated for an Oscar, but we do live in a society where true art isn't rewarded, I suppose.
Thank you, Space Duck 147. Alright, so before I wrap this up, I'm working on the subscriber special. We just hit 3K. Thank you so much. I'm going to just try to compile it all into one video, so I'll do something special for it, along with the Q&A. Just been taking a little bit of a mental health break so I don't get burnt out on this, because I love doing this. This is so much fun. I love writing, editing, voicing. It's all fun, and I love interacting with the community, you guys. So, yeah, I will see you all in the next video, which should be either the subscriber special or Spider-Man No Way Home. Oh boy, Spider-Man No Way Home is going to be way more in-depth than what I did here. Like, if you guys thought that this was high quality and in-depth, oh boy, you have not seen anything yet. Alright, I'll see y'all later, and, bye-bye. I hate that outro. I hate end...
There you are.
death to you, Father.